Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, a channel where I try and showcase the fun that could be had while exploring the logic in variant Sudoku. And today I'm going to be showcasing the most popular Sudoku variant in the world, which is the Fog constraint. And I'm going to be doing this with a puzzle called Whitechapel by FullDeck and missing a few cards. You might be saying that I feature a lot of puzzles by FullDeck and missing a few cards, and you would be right. I do get a lot of really good puzzles from them, and a lot of them are heavily recommended, which is why it happens. If you think I should be looking at other puzzles, recommend them or submit them. My submission guidelines are below. But I'm going to be looking at this puzzle today based on recommendations. So Whitechapel. So there are 3 constraints used in this puzzle, only 2 of which are visible at the beginning, so we'll have to see how this goes, because that's how the fog constraint works. When you start, a lot of the clues are concealed and they will get revealed as the puzzle is solved. So let's have a look at the rules. We have normal Sudoku rules. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. We then have all of the grey fog. And basically what the way the fog works is underneath the fog, there may be more information, which may include given digits. And in this puzzle, it could include cages, sometimes called killer cages, though dropping the killer concept is something that a few people have been trying to do because of the negative connotations, at least with the most popular constraint in the world. So with the cages, with the fog, when you place a correct digit somewhere in the grid, with this type of fog anyway, the fog will be removed from any touching cell. So for example, if we were to place the correct digit here, all of the correct fog would be removed. Now, this gives you positive feedback that if you've placed a correct digit. So you can actually case test your digits by just putting all of the digits into a cell. And when the fog gets cleared, you know you've placed a correct digit. But what we're supposed to be able to do is to deduce the correct digits to place, and then the fog will be revealed as confirmation rather than just put all the digits in and see which one is correct. There will be cages in this grid. Well, at least the rules tell us that there will be. And the way the cages worked is there will be dashed lines surrounding some of the cells in the clue, in the grid. And in those cages, say there was a cage filling these 3 cells with, say, a 20 at the top, it would mean that the digits in those 3 cells would have to sum to 20. But we don't know where the cages are yet. And then there are the little killer clues. We haven't got really figured that one out yet. Possibly, I don't know, angled sums or something. I don't know. We might look at that at some point. But clues outside the grid are the sum of the digits along the indicated diagonal. Digits may repeat if allowed by other rules. So, for example, these 2 digits, which are pointed at by this arrow, have to sum to 5. These digits, which are pointed at by this clue, these digits have to sum to 70. That one could be an interesting one to start on. Not so sure about that one. So they're the rules of the puzzle. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. Now, this 70 is interesting to me because it makes me quite worried, because it makes me think that people recommended this because they know I'll struggle with the math. Because the sum of all of these digits coming to 70, the minimum that the maximum that any of those 3 could sum to would be 24. And I know this because the maximum digits I could put into them would be 7, 8, 9, which is 24. And 24 plus 24 plus 24 is only 72. Because 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 60. So if I was to drop one of those by 3 by not putting a 9 in any of those diagonals, because if I don't put a 9, it drops down to 876, which is 21. So if I was to drop one of these to 21 and keep the others at 24 and 24, that's 48 plus 21, which is 69. So that doesn't work. I must put a 9 in every single one of these. Does that help me? Can I put I can put a 9 on a 36. So I know that these are from these are either 1, 4 or 2, 3, because the only way to do a 5 clue is 1, 4, or 2, 3. It's 2 digits, and therefore each digit must be below 5, because if I did a 5, the other clue would have to be 0, and if I did something higher than 5, it would have to be the other digit would have to be negative. The same as kind of, well, actually, no, I know those digits. That's what matters. And I also know these digits. Right. Because these digits here, these digits sum to 9 and those digits sum to 6. So the sum of those digits plus those digits is 15. But if I add the 5 smallest different digits together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are 15. So they have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can never put a 3 on the 6 sum, because if I put a 3 on the 6 sum, it would be 3 plus 3. So I must put a 3 on the 9 sum, which means it's either 1, 3, 5 or 2, 3, 4. So it doesn't really help me much, except there must be a 3 on this. Now I've got the same happening down here, but it's not as forced, I don't think. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But, I can't put a 5 on the 5 sum. So there is a 5 on here with the 2 digits that sum to 5. That's interesting. So these are from 6, 7, 8, 9, and these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. That's driving the total on this 36 up. Oh, this is clever. So this diagonal here, let's mark it in green, has to sum to 36. But the minimum in those is a 6, 7, which is 13. And the minimum in those is a 6, 7, which is 13. Minimum. So what's the minimum I can put in those? In those cells there, which I've done slashed with a light green. What's the minimum? So I have to keep those down. It's this cell, because I need to keep these down that can't be a 9. If this was a 9, the minimum these could be would be 9 plus 1 and 2, which is 12, plus 13, which is 25, plus 13, which is way over 36. That can't be a 9. What's the maximum that could be? If these were 1 and 2, these were 6 and 7. So if we had 6, 7, and 1, that's 14. 6, 7, and 1 would be 14. That's 28. So I need to keep these down to a maximum of 8. So this is a maximum of 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. But if this was 5, if this was 24 and this was 24, that means I'm 8. That's already 48. I need to get 48. I need to get a minimum of 22 in here. And 8, 9 is 17. So this is a 5. And this has to be an 8, 9. And these must be 7, 8, 9. And these must be 7, 8, 9. Because the 5 here allows me to get the absolute minimum in here. Oh, this is clever. So these are 7, 8, 9. These are 7, 8, 9, which is the absolute minimum. 24 plus 24 is 48, because the maximum here was 5. Otherwise, I would blow the total. And now these must be 6, 7 and 6, 7, because if I keep these to minimum, which is 14 and 14, I'm at 28. These must be kept down to 8, which is 1, 2, 5. So these are 1 and 2, and these are both 1, which clears more fog. How is that for a break-in? So there's no 1 in any, there's no 1 in any of those, and there's no 1 in any of those. If you're wondering about the puff of fog I've got, by the way, it's because I'm using the beta version of Sudoku Pad. And the beta version of Sudoku Pad gives you the ability to do that. I don't think that's been moved to the full version of Sudoku Pad yet. And when it, I will provide both links below. My default link will be to the full version of Sudoku Pad, and then but I'll also provide to a link to the beta version where you can turn on the puff of fog feature in experimental. Now the 6 can no longer be 1, 5. This is 2, 4. So 2 and 4 come out of here. The 1 here makes this an 8 to complete the 9 cage. The 3 would go with a 6. The 5, oh sorry, this is a 7 cage. So the 3 would go with a 4 and the 5 would go with a 2. This is a 10 cage. So 7 would need 1, 2, which would make that a 4. 6 would need 1, 3. So this is 1, 2, or 3. There's no 8 here. This is a 9 to complete the 10 cage. But this 5 can no longer be 4, 1. So this is 2, 3. So 2 and 3 comes out of here. 2 and 3 comes out of here. This 11 cage is either 5, 6 or 4, 7. There's no 1 here anymore, so there's no 4 here anymore. Okay. So this 9 cage, if this was a 7, those would have to sum to 2. This is 6, and this is a 1, 2 pair. The 6 here makes this a 7, which makes this a 6, which makes this a 5 to complete the 11, which makes this a 4. This is a 9 cage, making that a 5. This is a nice little fog puzzle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an 8. So the 8 is looking up, taking 8 out of there. The 7 is looking up, taking 7 out of there. The 9 is looking up, taking 9 out of there. The 9 is looking across, taking 9 out of there. The 8 has already taken 8 out of there, and the 7 takes the 7 out of there. Now, this is a 7 clue. It can't be 1, 6 because I can't put 1 in either of those cells. That one sees that cell. That one sees that cell. 2, 5 could work, but I'd have to put the 2 here and the 5 here. I think that works. No, maybe. No, maybe. And 3, 4 would put 3 here and 4 here because I can't put 4 here either. So that's interesting. But the 2, 4 pair looks down, making that the 5. So this becomes the 2, which looks across, making that the 3 and that the 2. The 5 looks up, making that the 3, which makes that the 4, and makes that the 2, which makes that the 4. Now, I'm not sure if this could be a 3-cell 8 cage. I don't want to use that yet. But this is a 5, which does mean that this is a 2-cell 8 cage, making that a 3, and that was just a Sudoku once I put the 3 in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, this 10 cage... Not sure yet. 6 is but let's do some Sudoku. 6 can't be in any of those cells. It's not part of 7, 8, 9. It's not 2, 5. 6 is in one of those two, looking up, making that a 7. So this does become 1, 2. Is there anything else? 5 is in one of those two. Now... there's no 2 here, so there's no 3 here. 3, 4, 1, 2. The 1 is looking up, making that the 2, which makes that the 3. So 2 is in one of those. No, 2 is actually in one of those two because of the 1, 2 pair looking across. I think I've done all the little killer clues now. And I haven't revealed that many more cages. The 7 is looking across, making that the 9, which makes that the 8, which makes that the 7. The 7 makes this the 6. The 7 looks down, making that the 8, which makes that the 9 and that the 7. There's a 15 cage here. These two digits have to add to 7 because 7 plus 8 is 15. So they can't repeat. So if they're 1, 6, they can't be 1, 6 because I can't put 6 in either of those cells because that 6 sees that one and that 6 also forces 6 into one of those two, which means I can't put 6 there. So it can't be 1, 6. If it's 2, 5, the 2 is here and the 5 is here, which it can't be because of the 5 there. So that, whoa, why have I got 5s in those two cells? That was complete and utter nonsense, and I don't know why I did it. But it's not 2, 5 because I can't put 5 in either of the cells. So these are a 3, 4 pair, and that 4 means that's the 3 and that's the 4. 3 in this box is now in one of those two, and this 3 looks down saying not there, that's the 3. These are 1, 4, and 6. There's no 4 there, there's no 1 there, there's no 4 or 6 there. So that's the 1, making that the 6 and that the 4. These are 1 and 8. Let's put the rest of these in. These are 2 and 7. And these are 3, 6, and 9, without that being a 3. I can see that 5 is in one of those two. This is a triple, 1, 7, and 9. Okay, there might be some interesting colouring to do with the 1s and 2s, or it might just be Sudoku I've missed. These are 7 and 8. This is a 1 or a 2. This is why I'm thinking there might be some interesting colouring, because those there are the same digit, because this is different to this and this is different to this, but they have to be from two different digits. So this digit has to, let's use a lighter green. This has to appear in this box here somewhere, but we know that that's that 1, 2, because this is the 1, 2 pair in this box and this is the 1, 2 pair in that box. So this is green, this is yellow. So I'm looking for 1s and 2s that see all of the... So green... I'm not sure. 6 is in one of those two. Oh, no, we're 6 in box 2. 6 and 6 are knocking out all of those. That's the 6. That's not a 7. 7 is in one of those two. And the 9 is making that the 1, taking 1 out of both of those. It's just Sudoku. These are 4 and 5. The 5 is looking up, making that the 4 and that the 5. So this is a triple. 4, 5... No, 4, 6, 8 is what it is. There's no 4 there. So this isn't the 5. This is the 5. 4, 6, 8. Not sure. But these are 1 and 2. Which I can keep colouring, but more importantly, the 1 and the 2, that's a pair. So this has to be the 7. This is the 2. I'll keep colouring because I've started. I'll get rid of it as soon as I don't need it, but it might help. The 7 is looking up, making that the 9 and that the 7. This is a pair, 1 and 9. And the 1, 2 is looking across, making that the 9 and that the 1, which makes all of yellow 2 and all of green 1. There you go. Colouring actually helped me. Probably didn't need it, but I used it. 1, 2, 3, and... Whoa. 1, 2, 3, and 7 go into those. So 4, 5, and 8 go in. There's no 4 there. There's no 5 there. Interesting. The 9 takes 9 out of there. The 1 looks down, making that the 8 and that the 1. The 8 looks up, taking 8 out of there. That is a 6, 8, 9 triple. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. That has to be a 7, which makes that the 8 and that the 7. The 8 looks across, making that the 4, taking 4 out of there. The 7 looks across, making that the 3 and that the 7. This is good fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9 go in. There's no 5 in the middle. There's no 6 at the bottom. There's no 9 at the top. And this is now a 5, 8, 9 triple. So where's the 4 in this row? It has to go there, which looks up making that the 6, which makes that the 8, which makes that the 4. The 6 looks down, taking 6 out of there, but the 8 looks down, making that the 9, which makes that the 6, which makes that the 3, which makes that the 9. The 9 looks down, making that the 8. I also could have used the 9 in the box. The 8 looks across, making that the 5, and that the 8. The 5 looks back, making that the 6, which makes that the 9, and that the 5. And I've only got 2 digits to place, which are 3 and 6. And I'll use the 3 right there to make that the 6 and that 3. And that was a beautiful little fog puzzle. Nice and easy. It's had 1,700 solves in 65 days. This was probably featured somewhere else. I don't care. I had fun. Hopefully you did too. If you've solved it before, I apologize, I suppose, but not too much because I had fun with the puzzle. And if you haven't solved it before and haven't seen it before, you're welcome. You've got a fun little fog puzzle. I can see why this was recommended so much. Yeah, it was probably recommended so much because lots of people saw it. That might be how that works. I hope you're having a lot of fun with the hobby. And if you're new to the hobby, then I hope these puzzles are bringing you joy. Thanks everyone for watching, and as always, good luck with your solving.